Admit it, this tune makes you happy. You know it from somewhere. It sounds like a 16th century painting come to life. Bright colors, velvet sleeves, horses pawing the ground. A young king sits still longer than he wants to. He would rather be hunting, or jousting, or drinking with his friends. So while the painter works, he hums. A tune forms, simple, catchy, something you could sing together. More than 500 years later, we are still humming it. This is Pastime with Good Company, also known as the King's Ballad, written by King Henry VIII and first published in 1513. Yes, that Henry VIII. Henry wrote this song when he was young, probably around 18 or 19, before he broke with Rome and founded the Church of England so he could divorce Catherine of Aragon, who failed to give him a surviving son. Before Anne Boleyn, whom he executed when refusal became a threat. Before Jane Seymour, who died giving him the heir he wanted. Before Anne of Cleves, chosen by portrait and rejected on sight. Before Catherine Howard, executed once youth stopped excusing her. And before Catherine Parr, who learned when to speak and when to stay silent. Before history hardened Henry into a villain. At the time, he was everything a Renaissance king was supposed to be. Athletic, musical, educated, confident. He played the lute and recorder. He composed dozens of pieces. But this one escaped the court. Pastime with Good Company was sung everywhere. At feasts, dances, taverns, and fairs. It crossed borders, too. A Scottish source from 1548 lists it among the most popular songs of the time. This was not a royal curiosity. It was a hit. Here is how it probably sounded in Henry's world. Notice how light it is. Not grand, not ceremonial. This is not a coronation anthem. It's a song about not wanting to be bored. The lyrics are direct. Henry praises hunting, singing, dancing, and fellowship. He insists he loves good company until he dies, and he defends pleasure seriously. Idleness, he says, is the real danger. The chief mistress of vices all. Doing nothing leads to trouble, so better to stay busy, together. Here is a version by the King Singers from 2012. This is not rebellion, it's justification. Henry wrote other songs. Many circle the same theme. What shall I do? How shall I pass the time? In one sense, it's innocent. In another, it's revealing. Because this song is not about freedom. It's about avoidance. Good company keeps silence away. Silence invites thought. Thought invites regret. Centuries later, the melody returns. Not through scholarship, not through history lessons, through curiosity. The first modern musicians who pick it up do something strange. They remove the words. Griffin, in 1973, treats the tune like a toy. No lyrics. No courtly meaning, just bassoon, crumb horns, and keyboards chasing the melody. It sounds playful, odd, mischievous. The tune stops being a royal statement. It becomes a dance again. A few years later, Jethro Tull hears the same thing. Ian Anderson keeps the rhythm and motion. Again, the words disappear. The melody feels restless. It does not want to explain itself. It wants to move. In the late 1990s, Blackmore's Night brings the words back. The melody returns. The meaning shifts. No longer philosophy, just atmosphere. A romantic tavern. Good company without justification. By now, the song has learned something. It does not need to argue for pleasure. It only needs to sound inviting. In 2013, the melody travels again, this time into symphonic metal. Serenity uses it not as a song, but as a signal. A few seconds are enough. The tune announces history, power, dynasty. The bored teenager is gone. Only the symbol remains. Our version sits between these lives. We keep the melody, we keep the motion, but we let the lyrics keep going. We imagine the king older, still charming, still convincing, more aware of what comfort costs. Good company is still good, but someone always pays for it. This is not an accusation, it's an observation. Pastime with good company survives because it refuses to stay in one role. It dances, it decorates, it signals history, it hides boredom. And perhaps that is why it lasted 5 centuries. A song written by a bored teenager with a crown that still knows exactly how boredom works. This is King's Pastime.
So God be pleased, thus live will I. For my pastimes, yeah, song and wine, my heart is set. A lawful sport to pass the time, who hinders yet? A king must keep some merry men, or silence turns to blame. With cheers and games and spectacle, he keeps his doubts unnamed. For idleness wears velvet robes and crowns itself. Who dares to claim that work and want outshine its wealth? Good company speaks earnestly around a loaded board. They praise restraint and virtue loud while taking more than score. The best seem right, the worst seems small from where we stand. Choose virtue when it cost us nothing to command. The crown comes off, the chair remains, the habit stays in place. No throne is needed to look away when comfort sets the pace. Now every screen's a tournament, each voice a lordly tone. They kill